Welcome! So in today's video, I'm going to explain the trading basics you'll need to begin trading in the Rust market. Now, before I even explain terminologies and the types of trading people do, the question some of you might have is, why trade instead of using the Steam market? Now to depict the best reason, we must date back to the days of TF2 and CSGO trading. Originally, Valve designed the Steam market, which has allowed people to purchase and sell their items using the Steam currency. And obviously there's a catch, the 13% Steam fee. So people didn't really like the Steam fee, as every time you buy and sell, you're basically giving money back to Valve. So people resorted to trading as a means to keep their money and maybe even make some profit. There's much more when it comes to the trading scene on the Steam platform, and it's honestly one of the coolest things to happen, especially because you can cash out your items for real money. On the note, I recommend to start off with $50 or more. Anything under $20 will reduce the amount of trades you could be getting, but most people generally will quit just because they didn't put enough money in or they don't ask enough people to trade. Now that's out of the way, for people beginning to want to trade within the Rust market, you should know a couple of terms and why they are used. 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 means one item of equal value for one or two items that make up an equal value. The general reason people do this is to trade out of items that they think will be harder to trade or find items that will keep their price or go up. 1-to-2 generally is harder to do in low tier trading, but sometimes it can occur, and I suggest to generally stay in the realm of mid to high tier. And an example of 1-to-1s and 1-to-2s is my blackout bar for a Hell's Dog. I wanted a more diverse inventory, and so I traded off the bar. Another example is my USPS business class for North Rock and Spacesuit. I was looking to move stuff back into Rust, and at that moment, that trade was pretty good. The other terms you should know after this is upgrade and downgrade. Now downgrading is when you have one item of value traded for 3 or more items that are worth more in total than the item you traded. Downgrading is useful in cases where you want to break a big item for smaller ones to trade more, or if you think you can easily upgrade back to a more valuable item. It's also the most popular way to make the most profits when trading, so I suggest to start off with this one. An example is my hunting bow from Hell in exchange for a Thompson, gloves, and bow, which gave me some profit and overpay. Just like before, I recommend to stay within the mid to high tier realm because low tier trading is going to be harder, even though I've basically been trading in low tier at the moment. Upgrading right out of the gate is just the opposite of a downgrade. You trade multiple items generally with overpay for a more valuable item. Upgrading can be useful as you can upgrade for a small overpay and then trade it for an overpay bigger than what you've given. Or if you have unwanted skins that don't trade well, you can upgrade them to an item that's more liquid. An example of one is when this person traded his face mask, hoodie, and LR for my last Phoenix AK. I don't have one personally that I deemed the simplest example, so I had to use the trade someone else had done just to show an example. Overall, when upgrading, you generally want to pay little to no overpay, and when downgrading, you want to have an overpay of about 5 to 10%. This isn't something cemented, so as a rule of thumb, when downgrading, it should be around the 5 to 10% mark, generally because the Steam market tax is 13%, and 3% or under is not enough to accommodate to market fluctuations and when upgrading. Quickly, when you see people have this in their title or description, it basically just means have and want. So this is one way of trading within the Rust market. It's simple and easy, but there are also other trades such as skin set trading, but I'll have to cover that in another video. Now this is pretty much all you need to know about terms and basically the essentials to trading, but now I'm going to give some tips on how I trade and how you can increase your trading numbers so that you never run out of people to trade with. The number one thing I can recommend is to always be asking and offering trades. Placing a trade and waiting is like waiting for someone to hang out with you. It takes long and you don't know if anyone would be interested. So take some time to send offers and do friend requests and start making a community of traders you can trade with. And the next tip is to make a community of people you can trade with. To increase trades, you're going to need people you can trust to trade with. And by doing this, some might want to cash out or trade their items for a good price, so this can go hand in hand with the first tip. The third tip is to not think too much about the money and items. I think many people get carried away by the money or the item they get and thus start slowing down their trades. I don't mean to not consider the value of the item and its price, but try not to get carried away by the value of the item if you're trying to get lots of consistent trades in a day. I would recommend to just write down how much you spend or how much you withdraw out on a notepad or book to track down how much you're risking or how much you are in profits. By doing this, you'll have a better understanding of how much money you've actually spent on an item, if you're willing to trade it, if it's underpriced and you think it could go up, and overall it makes your decision making a little bit better. The last tip I can give is to always stick to a plan, or at least some rules to give to yourself. By doing this, you'll not be as tempted for certain trades and you'll be able to get more trades in. An example of a rule or a plan could be having a downgrade overpay of at least 5%, anything lower than that, even just a little bit, is not worth the trade. Or when you're price checking, to only use an average on the Steam marketplace instead of using other externals such as Bitskins or Skinbaron, as those prices can be unreliable and they have less consistent trades compared to Steam marketplace. I think this video details enough to start trading. I'll go more in depth of things such as liquid items, foreign Steam markets, special trading, and more, but for now, good luck on your trading ventures and I hope you have a nice day.